What was science like in the Hellenistic period? If you're curious about how science evolved in the ancient world, the Hellenistic period is a fascinating time to explore. So, let's take a journey back to this era and see what made it so special. During the Hellenistic period, which spanned from around 320 BCE to 230 CE, science underwent a significant transformation. Unlike the classical period, where science was deeply rooted in philosophy, Hellenistic science began to focus more on practical applications and experimentation. One of the key factors that drove this change was royal patronage. Kings and rulers of the time saw science as a tool for political and economic advancement. They supported scientists and scholars, often to display their wealth and power. Cities like Alexandria, Rhodes, and Pergamum became major centers of scientific inquiry, competing to attract the best minds. This period saw the emergence of new scientific disciplines such as astronomy, mathematics, geography, medicine, and physics. Astronomers like Aristarchus of Samos made significant discoveries, including calculating the diameter of the moon and its distance from Earth. Later, Ptolemy of Alexandria systematized these findings in his famous work, the Almagest. Mathematics also flourished, with Euclid compiling his renowned Elements of Geometry, which remained a foundational text for centuries. However, it was Hipparchus who laid the foundations for plane and spherical trigonometry, making original contributions to the field. Geography was another area of significant advancement. Eratosthenes, a librarian in Alexandria, calculated the circumference of the Earth using sundials placed hundreds of miles apart. He also produced one of the most accurate maps of his time, dividing the Earth into degrees of latitude and longitude. Medicine saw tremendous progress as well. Herophilus of Chalcedon, often considered the greatest anatomist of antiquity, conducted detailed human dissections in Alexandria. His work included descriptions of the brain and its functions, marking a significant shift towards empirical medical research. The Hellenistic period also saw a shift from theoretical to practical science. The Hippocratic method, adopted by Hellenistic scholars, emphasized practical procedures based on experience, experimentation, and testing. This approach was a stark contrast to the earlier classical period, where science was more about achieving a theoretical understanding through observation rather than experimentation. In addition, academic instruction in Hellenistic schools began to focus on practical experiments. This hands-on approach led to innovations in various fields, including mechanics, optics, and pneumatics. The demand for practical knowledge drove scientists to solve real-world problems, contributing to the overall advancement of science. In summary, the Hellenistic period was a time of great scientific innovation, driven by royal patronage, a focus on practical applications, and the emergence of new scientific disciplines. It laid the groundwork for many of the scientific advancements that followed in later centuries.